Welcome to Pursuing the Muse. Today I'm catching up with Nick Dittmeier of Nick Dittmeier and the Sawdusters, as well as talking to bassist Shelley Anderson, a bonafide Sawduster herself. Nick is a veteran of the show from season 1 who is currently on a relentless tour supporting his new album, Apparition, which has already taken the band from the Midwest to Europe and back again. Stick around as we discuss the mysterious internet bot origin of his crazy album art, why Nick decided to retire from drinking to become a better band leader, and his comparisons of European and American audiences. Conversation with Nick will be followed by a chat with Shelly. Stay tuned.
I became an apparition. There's nothing to the position. Take drugs, give hooks, sing songs, never sleep at night. If I get some advice, I would do the opposite of what is right. I can die tonight, live tomorrow again. Love you, I wanna hurt you just like you hurt me. I wanna hurt you too. Whoa, I wanna hurt you just like you hurt me. I wanna hurt you too. I wish I could go somewhere. I wish I could go anywhere but here. I wish I could go somewhere. I wish I could go anywhere but here.
All right, Tom Compton here again, Pursuing the Muse. Today, I am fortunate enough to be with Nick Dittmeier of Nick Dittmeier and the Sawdusters, who is on the road as we speak. Going to do a show at Broken Hearts here in Chicago, touring and supporting the new album, the fantastic new album, Apparition. Nick, how are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. So, how long have you been on the road supporting the album at this point?
Well, it came out in May, and we started immediately touring in support of it. So we've been pretty much on tour since then. We did some Midwest stuff in May, and we were in Europe for all of June, and we came back, and we've been just doing some regional stuff through August.
Nice.
So we'll be doing dates between now and the end of the year. It's pretty relentlessly in support of it.
How is the how are the audiences taking the new stuff? They're receptive.
Good. Yeah, and I'm really good. I'm glad to be able to play new songs because you get kind of antsy, you know, when you're getting to that point of like releasing something new and you're holding something back, but you're looking to what that next thing is going to be, that you're ready to release the next thing. So for the sake of playing new songs and reconstructing our set list, it's been really nice.
Cool. Are you mixing up the set list night to night?
No, well, I mean, not really. No. Well, it depends. Yes and no. So
If someone yells a song from the crowd, you might respond.
right, yeah.
Okay. How do you like the European audiences versus the American?
It's different. Every day is a really long and hard day in Europe. You get a payoff with the audiences because they're generally really enthusiastic to see bands, and they've got a much larger attention span than people in the United States have. So they like guitar, solos and stuff like that. So I'm kind of in the wheelhouse of the stuff that they like. So yeah, the audiences are great.
Cool. Do you like stretch it out on guitar more, knowing that?
Sometimes, yeah, maybe a little bit here. I might show off a little bit. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I might try.
Flaunt it if you got it.
Right. Okay.
So now I gotta ask, Apparition, the album cover has this crazy ass photo on it of a boy on a big wheel with laser eyes.
Yeah.
Is that picture just because it's a cool, crazy ass picture, or is there a deeper meaning to it?
No, there's no deeper meaning to it. So it's I actually saw that photo on the internet. It was like a weird Facebook or Threads post, like a bot or something used this photo to make this post about their son who was like living back, was a loser and was like living back at home. And I was like, this is like so oddly worded. But I liked the photo of it, you know? And so I was taking screenshots and collecting kind of like concepts of art for the record. You know, I was kind of doing that for a long time. And then I kind of had the idea of him having like laser eyes when I was kind of looking back at some of the things I kind of compiled for possible album covers. So I did Google search that image, and it has no known owner to it. It's just some odd photo that's like circulated on the internet. I saw it was like the cover photo for like some Facebook group for like boomers that like, you know, I used to drink out of the hose kind of stuff, you know, and that was like the cover. But yeah, that through my like Google search, you know, or trying to figure out what it was, nothing ever turned up. So it was just an odd coincidence. Yeah, people will ask, is that me? No, that is not me. But
I love that it's just a crazy ass photo.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the new album, man. You got some characters going through some things on this record.
Okay. Yeah.
You can neither confirm or deny that.
Yeah.
So what is the most autobiographical song on the album? Because you got some seedy things going on here and there, but
yeah. Autobiographical, probably Apparition, the title track song. You know, it's kind of about dropping out of school and playing music is essentially what that song's about. So that one would be the most, yeah, I would say that.
Okay, well, I'm glad it wasn't scratching at your back door. Right. Then I might have to move back a few feet. Right. But when I was thinking about that question, I was thinking it would be Apparition. I mean, is there something to your sobriety journey that's in there as well?
No, I don't think so. Cause I mean, I'm not like on a sobriety journey, I don't think. So
there can be weird ways to phrase it.
Yeah. Like as far as drinking, I don't drink at all, but as far as that goes, I just say I'm retired. You know, so I still smoke weed and I like take psychedelics and stuff like that. But no, I don't drink. No, I don't think that. Trying to think. No, not so much. I mean, I did used to drink a lot. I'm glad I don't drink anymore. But
yeah.
I think I don't think I would be able to be doing this if I was still drinking because, you know, I mean, I'm trying to get like quality people around me and people to take this seriously. And if, you know, I'm not like the best captain of the ship kind of thing, then, you know, you'll attract people that don't show the project respect. You know, you'll put out the respect that you want from other people, I guess. And if I was drinking, I would be respecting myself or, you know, the people that I would want to be around me, basically.
Yeah. You know, I'm 12 years into my last drink.
Okay.
So it's like refreshing to me when musicians have also like moved on beyond that phase of life because
right.
it can be destructive. We've seen it like kill a lot of
absolutely, yeah.
A lot of great acts. Like it seemed like 27 was like the age
right
at one point of like if you can get past 27,
right, yeah,
you might be golden.
Yeah.
So it's just very, very cool. And at the same time, I was wondering with Apparition, there's that angle, but then there's also like wake up and do it again, and that felt very like rock and roll, like new show, new city, kind of a. Do you feel like you're kind of doing that with like you're waking up and going to a new city and you're a new person in a way?
Yeah, and I think it's that line's kind of about like you know, like whatever happens, playing shows, whatever happens that night, you gotta like take anything bad that happens and forget it, and then take the good stuff and try to not overthink that too as well. Not try to like over calculate that there was a crazy story I heard once. Billy Bean, the Moneyball guy, you know, that he found out that like he didn't really want to be a baseball player anymore, because he roomed with Lenny Dykstra, and Lenny would do like all this crazy stuff, like run headfirst into walls and like do all this stuff, and like Lenny didn't really like, you know, if he struck out, he had a short memory about like getting banged up, you know. And I try to like think that, you know, if bad things happen, you have to have like a very short memory about that and shake it off and move on to the next day, like whatever that's gonna be on tour. So it's like if say you didn't sell enough tickets, or like whatever didn't happen that night, that show didn't live up to what needed to happen, and whether that's like real or imagined, whatever that's going to be, you got to kind of have a short memory about it. And if everything goes really well, then you think like, okay, well we can do this. This can happen. Like we've kind of like hit a bar, and then we can, you know, that's a threshold that we can go over again.
Very cool. You keep the good and cast off.
Yeah.
What could be dead weight. Very cool.
Right.
So what prompted the 40-second instrumental track that you're launching the record with? Because that's like, when I heard that, it reminded me like Joe Walsh used to put little like 1-minute instrumental things, or maybe Stevie Ray Vaughan with Scuttlebutt would start a record.
Yeah.
What inspired Reckless?
It was something me and the drummer had messed with. The beat actually is a beat he would play, like this weird swingy, kind of like almost 3/4 kind of blast beat kind of thing, that his uncle had showed him, and we would like play over this. So we kind of had this, we had that little, you know, that 40-second thing worked out, and then we had the song Revenge, and we just pieced that together. Like, and so like I really like what we had, just fucking with like those kind of two parts. But honestly, I didn't really feel like this song had very much, in the way that tempo is and everything, like I didn't feel like it had much headroom to like grow anywhere, you know. So we just kind of made it a part of another song. So I made it kind of, and then made it in its own song. And
right.
So
it's kind of like, I can see that being a cool walking on stage song. It's got a little funky groove, and you kind of waking up people, which I guess also makes it a great song to start the record with.
Right. Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite songs on the record is Black Dad, White Mom.
Yeah.
It's really catchy, really grooves.
Thanks.
Is that based upon anything in particular, or is it more like appreciating what the youth of today have to go through at a higher level?
Well, it kind of comes from an amalgamation of things. You know, I grew up in a pretty like racially diverse neighborhood, and when I was, you know, so when I was a kid in the early 90s, you know, like if you saw a kid with a black dad and a white mom, like they were just like mixed. Like it was like, that's what they were called, you know. It was like, and it feels that, you know, the song, the line is, it's supposed to be like in the intention is to be like pejorative, like to disseminate the character into those traits about himself, you know. And I kind of wrote it to, I was staying in this house in Ithaca, New York, with my friend JP, who used to play in my band, and his in-laws were staying there, and they're like an interracial couple, but they're like old. They're like in their 60s, and they live in West Virginia, you know. So like you can imagine what it like for them, you know, like in a very rural part of West Virginia. So like I was in the house with them too, for like the week and everything, just thinking about, writing songs and come up with stuff. Like it's never like just normally about like one thing where I don't like move away from like the laser focus of whatever that subject is. It's always it's kind of like an amalgamation of other things. And then the third thing it was kind of about was my mom, growing up. She grew up in Louisville, Kentucky in the 70s. And so to integrate the schools there, you know, there were people that were very pissed off about it. So she rode a bus that was like, they had like armed guards, you know, like National Guard people. And then like people from the neighborhood came out and like threw rocks at the bus and everything, you know. And they're just telling me stories like that about, that's not that long ago, you know. So it was kind of taken from a few different points of view, or of things that like I've seen and experienced, or like from my childhood of like, you know, when you're a kid as well, like you might not, you know, until you're taught that a level of racism, you probably do not know that, you know, so you make friends with kids and stuff like that in your neighborhood, or see different people, and you don't notice those differences as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's so catchy. Like, where did that start as a seed, as the concept, or the music, and the you kind of fit the lyrics to the music?
Concept of an interracial kid, I would say that, you know, was out of place or felt out of place. That's where it came from.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I love the track. So
Thank you.
yeah. Let me switch to gear a little bit.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if it's an accurate assessment, but it feels like you're soloing more on this than you have in the past.
Okay.
And it highlights, you have a great tone with your Telecaster.
Thank you.
And I want to say the closest thing I can mentally grasp as a comparison is maybe Albert Lee.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What kind of effects are you running to get that twangy sound that you got? Because it's really tasty.
None, normally. So a lot of the tone is especially the player like Albert Lee, who are my favorites are Mark Knopfler, Chris Isaacs, Will George, Danny Gatton, people like that. Like a lot of the tone, or like Jerry Reed, the tone you're getting, that's coming from your fingers, like popping, basically, like doing hybrid picking and letting your fingers pop on it. That's where I feel like the tone of the Telecaster comes from. But also my guitar it's modified with the third pickup, and then it's got a little pull pot thing on it, so I can get some quacky. I was trying to combine a Strat and a Tele, and to get some kind of quackier sounds with more of like a low end to them. And this weird guy at this weird music store in Indiana that's like since closed, he rigged it all up at a top luthier in town in Louisville, because I needed some stuff fixed on it, and he was like, I don't know what this guy did, honestly, like to this guitar. And he's I don't think this guy's in the game of doing guitar stuff anymore or anything like that. So
are you saying your guitar is irreplaceable or something that would happen?
yeah, I guess so. I try not to think about that, but yeah, it is. So
No, you have one more thing to worry about.
right. Yeah.
I hope you're sleeping at night.
Yeah.
All right. So, and as you were saying that, I was thinking of like your guitar was set up by some apparition
Kind of, yeah.
that came out of the ether.
Yeah.
Did this. Did you see the guy, or did you just hear about the guy?
No, I've been to his house. So I know where he lives. So yeah, he lives in my neighborhood. Yeah.
It's not a lost cause.
No, but I don't know what kind of luthier work he's doing these days, though, to be honest with you.
You could twist his arms.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a backup guitar.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe you get me one.
Okay. I can maybe find his number for you. I don't know.
We'll get a volume discount.
Okay.
So no effects at all? You're just going straight into the amp?
Live, I'm using some effects pedals. I use like a tremolo and a chorus pedal, but I don't use compression or anything like that. And I have a boost that's just a Boss EQ that just boosts the entire signal. That doesn't distort anything or change anything. It just lifts the signal, basically. But I've never really been that, me having like 4 pedals, that's the most amount of pedals I've ever had in my life. I never not much of like a gear person. I only own 2 guitars. I own that Tele, and then I have a Guild, like a 70s Guild. That I've just never been a big guitar collector or amp collector, anything like that. So
you find what works and you run with it.
Right, yeah.
So is your picking style a hybrid thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Because there are times where I'm thinking it's fingers, and then there's times I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm playing with the pick, but I'm like pulling on the strings. I'm like quacking on the,
That's like a Danny Gatton's signature.
Right, yeah.
Who else used that style? Because I'm like,
Pete Anderson would be a big one from all the classic Dwight Yoakam stuff with Bryn Mason. A million players. Famously Jerry Reed. Mark Knopfler. Yeah.
Cool. Because I find myself drifting into that more without like even meaning to do it.
Right. Yeah.
But it's cool. To get that like the sound of of the flesh on the strings is like, you start evoking Knopfler and Jeff Beck, and you can't go wrong if you're evoking those guys. So let's talk about, with the record, there's a little bit of anger in there, like revenge, hurt you?
Yeah. Wasting my time.
Are you just painting characters, or
that's more a coincidence. I when I was looking at the track listing, I was like, oh, there are some, a lot of negative based songs. That was a pure coincidence. That then the songs on the album, like Apparition, I think was written in like 2019, 2020 ish, and it was a demo I had, and I kept working with the song, and then I decided I wanted to put it on this record. So like I was listening back to some old demos this week of songs from even stuff I have from like 2018, 2019 that I would be like, I'm like, I would actually re-record this and put this out. Stuff that I've never put out. So a song like Apparition's pretty old. Wasting My Time's kind of it was probably 5 years old. Running Away is not an old song, but it was on an EP we put out. Trying to think what else. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of new stuff on the record, but and I was talking to the drummer about this. Is like, when do you know when to like let songs go? Because if you have songs in your catalog, you keep passing over, then you're like, well, maybe this just isn't a song worthy of going on a record, because it's so. I mean, I write way more songs than I have the capacity to put on albums, based on how expensive it is to put albums out and like anymore, and how much lead time we need and all this kind of stuff. So we have to be like, it sucks. If you're in the headspace of being kind of prolific, because with writing songs, because you're as far as how the amount of work it's going to take to like get it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, say you're approaching Apparition, and do you have like an arc, and you're looking at the old songs and you're seeing, do some of these old songs fit an arc and make a cohesive pattern?
Right. Yeah. I think Apparition was a song like that kind of tied things together and tie the album together, and that's why I probably selected it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so at the end, what is Running Away the last track on the record?
Yeah.
And it feels like it's been, at times the record, it's like a heavy arc going on with these characters that are going through some stuff. But I see there's a point in the song where the protagonist is like looking at his partner who's still asleep, and he's dealing with stuff, but he's also like sympathetic, like, you stay asleep,
right,
I got this, I'm going out into the world.
Right.
Is that like the glimmer of hope? Like, stuff happens, but we're still empathetic around us.
Yeah.
Am I getting at any?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That you're correct about that verse, I think.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Are there other glimmers of optimism you see sprinkled among what's going on
in
the overall arc of Apparition?
Yeah, maybe it's not a super optimistic record, I guess. I mean, there's a song called All Downhill From Here. So
Ben thinks he's at bottom and it's all downhill from here.
But yeah, I guess it's kind of a pessimistic record overall. I will say that. Yeah.
All right, Nick. I'm trying to find something to grasp onto to make it to when I wake up tomorrow and go to the next city.
Yeah. Right.
So you're on the road. How much longer are you? Is this tour lasting?
Well, we're kind of always on tour. We'll be playing shows like through the end of the year. I'll be doing solo stuff, some solo runs, and some full band stuff. I know we're doing a run to New York City and back in September in about 5 weeks, and then just a lot of Midwest stuff. We'll be doing between here and the end of the year. So like, you check the website, Instagram, Spotify, all that stuff will link. All bands in town links all that stuff together.
What's the Instagram handle? Is it Nick Dittmeier?
Nick_Dittmeier_music.
Okay.
I believe.
Were there other Nick Dittmeiers taking now?
Well, it was kind of awkward for a long time. It was Nick_Dittmeier_the_Sawdusters. And so now all my handles are just under Nick Dittmeier Music, basically. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you got a relatively new Sawduster lineup now, right? Shelly's maybe a year and a half along.
And she started playing with me at the beginning of 2024.
2020. Okay.
So 2.5 years.
Okay.
And then Chase started playing with me last May, kind of off and on. And then started full-time this year, like once to prepare for the record and stuff like that.
Is Chase on the record?
No, it was our old drummer Josh Bradley that played on it.
Cool. And so, what's it like playing with different musicians that may or may not, maybe coming in and out? Does it change the way you playing with them?
Yeah, I mean, this lineup particularly I really like because they're very easy. They get what I'm trying to do, and they handle their job and let me kind of glide over top like what they're doing. Is the way I always feel about it. So I feel like when we're at our best is honestly when I'm just kind of like swooping a chord, like we're just kind of grooving it, and I'm just kind of swooping a chord and like letting it kind of ring out. Like we're being very minimal, and creating a lot of things at the same time.
Do they ever surprise you? Like something cool pops up that you didn't see coming?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, time to time that happens. Yeah, a fill here or there. Yeah.
Nice. And then, all right. So we've gone over the socials, the road ahead. I just want to say, Nick, I'm talking to you before you're going to go on, so I am really psyched. I've heard you with Josh, so
okay. Yeah.
I've yet to experience Chase on drums with you, so I am looking forward to this. In post, I'll do a review in post maybe.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But I have to thank you, Nick. You were season 1 when I had no idea what I was doing. I was just reaching out to people that I had said, "Hey, you're cool," and you wrote back, and I'm starting a podcast. So you came on season 1. You're a veteran. So any listeners that wants the Nick Dittmeier backstory, including the origin of the Sawduster handle, which you went over in season 1, I recommend you scroll back in your Apple, Spotify, YouTube, scroll there and find the first interview with Nick. And we'll sign off here, Nick. Thank you so much. It is a joy to see you again. You're one of my favorites. You're a troubadour, man. You're doing it. You're keeping rock and roll alive. So thank you, Nick.
Thanks, man. All right.
Okay. We've spoken with Nick. Now we have an official Sawduster on the mic with us. Shelley Anderson?
That's correct.
I've done my research.
All right.
So Shelley, you are playing bass with Nick.
Yes.
What's it like being a Sawduster?
It's pretty cool. Let's see. I've been doing it for, I don't know, like maybe this will be the 3rd summer. So yeah, it's a good gig.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how has it grown over the 3 years you've been a Sawduster?
Well, we put out a record earlier this year, and that was a really cool process. The label that put it out is a really cool label. Working with them is a great opportunity for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you get started playing bass?
When?
Yeah.
Well, I started playing guitar when I was a kid, like when I was like 13-ish.
Okay.
But I switched to bass when I was about 30, just because somebody had to do it in a band that, somebody needed me to fill in. I thought it was going to be for like one show, and then it just turned into, I'm in that band. Then I was in some other bands, and just several bands later.
Cool. And no regrets moving away from guitar?
Oh, no. I mean, I still enjoy playing guitar, but I mean, I've been playing so much more bass, like in the last, 13 years or so. And I really like it. I mean, it's so fun. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like guitar, and I love that I started that way, but there is something that's just super fun about it.
Right. I mean, that's the foundation, the drums and the bass. I mean, without that, you ain't got nothing.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
So, who are some of your influences as a bassist?
Well, as a bassist, I don't really know, because once again, I just never really, as a kid, I thought more about guitar and just songs I liked in general more than about the bass players. But Kim Deal is, she's one of my all-time favorite musicians, and she's a bass player. She plays guitar as well. But You know, I love Guns N' Roses, so I guess Duff McKagan would be like another bass player I liked a lot. Like I said, I didn't really think about it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
I always liked a lot of girl rock musicians too.
okay, like Tina Weymouth, maybe?
Oh yeah, I mean she's great, but
Yeah.
all my favorites as a kid were like PJ Harvey, Veruca Salt,
Oh, great.
Raiders, stuff like that.
Sure. Awesome. And then with the new album, you also did the mastering.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And the record sounds great, so, kudos to you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Is that another facet of your career?
Yeah, that's my main gig. Also, I mean, I've been doing that as a more solid thing than even playing. So
Okay.
yeah, I used to live in Nashville and worked in a big studio there for a long time.
The whole thing.
So that's kind of my main thing. Actually, I've been doing mastering for over 20 years now. So
Sure. Are you an independent doing that?
yeah, I am now. I mean, I used to work in Nashville and worked on Jenny Chesney and Keith Urban and all those kinds of stuff like that all the time. Which isn't honestly really, that's not kind of stuff I ever really grew up listening to. So that's really the first time in my whole life I ever really was exposed to any kind of country music was in my job in that capacity. It was a great experience. I learned a lot. Got to meet a lot of great producers.
Yeah.
Work on some other cool records that had nothing, White Stripes and Rolling Stones and some stuff like that were not country, which I really thought was cool.
Yeah.
So
So it sounds like your tastes are all over the place.
Yeah,
You're very eclectic.
for sure.
Cool. So when you're at home, do you have any genre you lean towards with putting on the turntable?
I usually don't listen that much. Well, what I'm listening to is usually work related. I'm listening to something I'm working on mastering wise, or I just want silence. Frankly,
Right.
driving home from a loud band practice, I might opt for complete silence the whole way.
Yeah.
Give my ears a break.
Sure. She refreshes, it recycles the hard drives.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's usually punk rock, indie rocks, 90s, 80s stuff.
Yeah. So how did you hook up with Nick?
Kind of I think a lot of band members get gigs. Just one of those things. Somebody you get a text or a DM. Hey, we have a bass player opening.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just is the one.
Okay.
Sometimes it just works out.
Yeah. Then with Apparition, were you are you a co-write on the song?
No, Nick had all the songs written. We worked out our parts as a band. Drum parts and bass parts. We kind of did as a group. But he definitely wrote all the songs. It had them. All the parts written out, and usually the structure and stuff like that pretty much set up.
Okay. And so did you come in to a chart or a demo and you
or just I don't know, just some of them he sent us voice memos,
Okay.
or just in practice, here's how it goes,
Yeah.
play it. But yeah, definitely voice memos. I got some of those, and demos that he had recorded on his own.
Mm-hmm. And then you have leeway to invent the part that you...
For the most part. I'm sure that if there was something that wasn't working for him, he'd let me know, but...
Has that ever happened? Has he ever said,
Thanks.
might want to rethink this or that, or...
I don't think so.
No?
As far as writing the part, no.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then it's a good fit, right?
Or he might make a suggestion, you know what I mean? That's more of maybe not something I've already written, but something that we haven't come up with anything yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then...
Or he'll say maybe the bass could follow the guitar right there or something.
How much did the songs evolve on bass between when you were first introduced to one to kind of testing it out on the road to bring it into the studio?
That's a good question. Some of them we played a lot live before we recorded them, and some of them we didn't play live at all before we recorded them. So the ones that we played live a lot, maybe I probably messed with those in a way that the ones that we didn't play live, the original parts that I wrote were probably the ones that got recorded. Whereas, the ones we played for a year and a half, I'm sure that there were things that I changed here and there over the course of that time.
But
Which is, I like doing that. I like having the option to do that if possible. If possible.
yeah, it seems like then it can grow. You know, like you might not even remember the first time.
Like, oh yeah, exactly. Or just, you know, you do one thing one night and Drew's like, oh, that was cool. I wish I had done that on the record, you know?
Are there any bass parts that have evolved past what's on the record?
I don't know, nothing like huge. Like,
Oh, really?
or just like, you know, a little fill here, a little flare, but nothing crazy. I mean,
Yeah. Or will you like even like switch it up from night to night?
yeah, I mean, sure, maybe not even on purpose, but yeah.
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 Very cool. And then, so you've played with both Josh and Chase.
Yes.
How would you compare them as drummers?
I mean, they're both awesome drummers. You know, anything is just, any musician kind of has a slightly different vibe, even if they're playing the same parts. I would say Josh is like a little jazzier and Chase is a little more from a rock background, which I understand, but they both really seem to work, you know. It just kind of depends on, you know, everybody clicking and feeling the same vibe. And
Right on.
once you play together more, you know, you'd start to lock in more.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard Josh, but this will be my first time hearing Chase play.
Cool.
So it's cool that you're like, would you say more rock, more?
Well, you know,
like,
Chase is kind of like me. Well, okay, I wouldn't say that I'd never played in a band like this before, but I played in some not super crazy heavy punk rock bands before. But this was kind of the first country leaning band, and I know for Chase, I think it is too. So I can understand, like, all right, you know, like we appreciate it for sure, but you know, like we're excited to do it. But it, you know, I think we both were like, it was a challenge. You know, it's a new challenge, a brand new world.
right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, are there times where you feel like you have to reel in to be more country sounding, or is it just a feel?
I think it's just a feel. Yeah. I mean, so, you know, everybody kind of has their own vibe, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that I've gotten a lot more into that vibe now that I've been doing it for several years. But like some of the like bouncier stuff, you know what I mean? Like I hadn't really done a lot of that kind of stuff before, and now I really enjoy playing that kind of stuff. So, or if you, I mean, when I say I enjoy, I mean, I really like the actual playing. It's really fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel more pressure as a power trio since there's less people up on the stage? You're carrying.
Not usually, because I feel like we're good enough that it doesn't matter. You know, and then we can pull it off. I mean, if the power trio is not working, then you know, so maybe you really need a keyboard player or somebody up there to fill in some holes. But ideally, you know, we're tight and locked in, and hopefully everybody tells us we sounded like a 4-piece band at the end of the night. And Nick can play guitar, like 2 guitar players, you know, so we have that going for us.
Yes. I've always admired that about Nick. Is like it sounds like there's a rhythm player,
It does.
and there isn't. So
Yeah. Cheap for the price of one.
right. So very cool. All right. Well, Shelly, I appreciate you chatting with me. So I was telling Nick, this is the first time hearing the new band, and so I'm psyched. I'm excited. So
Awesome. Can't wait for you to hear it.
all right. Thanks, Shelly.
Thank you.